Guys, my name is Billy, aka The Reading Cowgirl, and welcome back to the channel. February has since passed and I have read 30 books last month, so let's talk about them. And these are all in no particular order. I just made a stack and I'll just grab the first book. I read the Evernight book of January, which was We Call Them Witches. I get like a lot of like Last of Us vibes from this book, especially because of the monsters. They're really, really creepy. Let's see if yeah. They were just really creepy and like plant-based, and they scared the living shit out of me. And we follow a girl whose family is living in a world where like these creatures called witches are like after them, but they're like after everybody and they're attacking everybody, and it's whack. But at the same time, it's really cool. I really liked the system of like I don't want to call it a magic system because it's not a magic book, it's a horror book. But like the whole premise of like the witches, and then her younger brother goes missing, and together with a girl her and her family have found, she's gonna try to rescue her brother, and in the meantime try to like, you know, don't die. I thought it was creepy in the exact right way. I think the ending really saved the book. I was having quite a lot of mixed feelings about the book, and I think the ending was really, really strong. So in the end, I give it 3.5 stars. Then I read Son of the Morning, also in this beautiful, beautiful Afterlight edition. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think this was a good book, but I did really enjoy it. I did really, really like it. And I think sometimes that's fine. You don't really need to think a book is good to like it. We follow a girl or like a woman who falls in love or like has relations with the literal devil. And then his right-hand man is like, I am not really sure if I like that. And I'm not really sure if I don't like that because I want you, or I want him, or I want you both. And then there is also kind of like a mystery about who the girl actually is. So that was quite fun. It's not a very long book. I really enjoyed it. I read it while I was in London. I think I gave this one 4 stars in the end. I finally finished Lord of the Rings. I really like the series. I realised that last year in February I read the first 2 books, and it took me a year to finish this one. I did really enjoy this one. I really want to read them again, but in like one go, or like in one order, and not like wait a year to read book 4 or book 3, because every once in a while I was like, oh yeah, what happened again? And I was a bit confused, but I really, really enjoyed this one, and I gave this one 4 stars. And I gave the same rating to A Scatter of Light, which is a companion novel to The Last Night at the Telegraph Club, which is a book I really, really enjoyed. I really liked this one as well. The girl who's forced to spend a summer with her grandmother, which she kind of doesn't like, but at the same time her grandma's really cool, so it's kind of fine. And she meets a couple of other girls her age, and chaos ensues. I do have to say there was a certain trope in this book that I don't really vibe with, so that kind of did throw me off a bit, and I was like, it's not my cup of tea. But in the end I gave it 4 stars. At Her Service, which is the second book in the Out in Hollywood series by Amy Spalding, I have a complicated relation with this series. I really like these editions because I got the Afterlight editions and I think they're really pretty. And I really enjoyed book 1 in this series. And I've read book 3 a while ago. I didn't like that one. And this one I also have mixed feelings. I feel like there is too much miscommunication, or like not telling people stuff that maybe you should tell them in these books, and that bothers me. I know that book 4 is out, and I hope to listen to that one quite soon just to see if maybe that will redeem the entire series for me. It's just, I just want to enjoy, like every time I read a sapphic book, I just want to enjoy it because it's sapphic. But these books, I think I gave it 3 stars in them because it was not bad. It's just these characters need more growth. And I think that's my main takeaway of the books of Amy Spalding. I read Nu we er nog zijn, which is a Dutch queer YA book in which you follow a 20-year-old. And he is going to work at an island because he works in IT and they need him. And then I think war breaks out. It was kind of complicated. And then he is saved by a soldier. And together they're gonna like find his partner, who is still at the hotel they were staying at. But in the meantime, like, the islands also, like, need to be evacuated because there's war. I also have mixed feelings about this one. I think the entire book takes place in a day. And I read this one in like two sessions, and I feel like this is a book you need to take your time with. Maybe also because I'm not the target audience. I am not of YA age anymore. I'm almost 30. But this book just went too fast. Also, I needed more of the political intrigue. Like, if you're talking about a country at war to me, I need to know why. What are, like, the systems of rule? Is there a tetrarchy? Is there a monarchy? What's going on? I need more of that. And you don't have to do that in a YA because teenagers don't care about it. However, I do. This book went too fast. And I really liked the story, and I liked the writing style, and I liked everything except for the fact that the plot moved super duper fast. So I think I gave it 3.5 stars. It's not a bad book. If you're interested, I made a pretty, well, long. I made a sole review of this book on my Dutch TikTok, if you're interested in that, and if you speak Dutch. But it went too fast. And there's just some things I need to have answered, which it didn't. And I kind of get that it didn't because it's a YA. But as an older YA reader, I did feel like it needed that. Then we have my favourite book of the month, Every Step She Takes by Alison Cochrane. I just checked, I've never given an Alison Cochrane book anything less than 5 stars. I love her work. We follow a 35-year-old woman who kind of is struggling with life and everything, and then takes her sister's place on a Camino trail. While there, she thinks her plane is going to crash, and then she comes out to a woman on her plane saying that she thinks she might be a lesbian. And then the woman is also on the Camino trail. And it was amazing. I loved it. I really loved how it talked about discovering your sexuality when you're a bit older. It was wonderful. I laughed, I cried. Absolutely my favourite read of the month, and so far my favourite read of the year. And I had a reread of 2 Dutch faves, De Kloof and Koning van Katoren. These are 2 children's books which I love very, very much. They're both quite a bit older, but they're both very, very, like, in this today's political climate, these still fit. Like, this one is from the 70s, but it's still very accurate, and I love it a lot. This is my favorite book of all time, and this one is also very, very good. Then I had another reread, which was Le Normaux, because I was gifted book 2 by the publisher. I really love this series a lot. It's like Heartstopper, but with vampires and wizards and werewolves, and for a bit of an older audience, and I need book 3 now. And there's also 2 books I read that I don't own a physical copy of, one of them being The River Has Roots. I listened to that one on audiobook, which I would absolutely recommend. We follow 2 sisters, and one of them is in a relationship with, like, a fae creature. But at the same time, there is a male guy who really wants to date her, but she doesn't want to marry him because she's in love with the fae creature. And then things happen. The audiobook was not that long, but there was a lot of music in it, and I really, really liked that. And I think this was just a really great listen. And I also read Focus op mij, which is a debut by a dear friend of mine. And I had the honor to read it a bit earlier by the publisher. It was amazing. We follow Shay, and she is a new photographer of the band Frog Tears. But the lead singer, Nick, doesn't really like her because they are a bit angry and sassy about the fact that their previous photographer, Andy, got fired, and Andy was their best friend, and Andy doesn't respond to their texts anymore. So now they are upset because they don't want a new photographer, they want Andy. And also, they don't know what happened to Andy. But at the same time, Shay's kind of hot and very attractive and kind of good at her work, and that complicates things because now she's going to join them on a tour around the UK. Chaos ensues. It was amazing. So yeah, these are all the books I read in February. My favourite was Every Step She Takes. I would really like to hear what your favourite read of February was. And I will see you guys next week with a new video.